All right. Hey everybody, how is everyone doing on this Saturday? Things are a little soggy out there right now. We'll take a look at the radar, see what storms are really popping off at the moment. Seeing really just some widespread rain. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as it was yesterday, where we saw some severe storms, especially along Volusia County and Brevard County coastlines. But overall, if you do have any plans for the rest of the weekend, definitely let us know, and we'll give you a little bit of a forecast to really figure out what the rest of your weekend is going to be looking like depending on where you are. Overall, we are seeing some storms being pushed into the region right now. Some of them are due to the sea breeze, but also some of them are also due to a system that's lingering just offshore. So let's get right to it. So here's what the current radar is looking like. What we're seeing right now is all of these storms basically coming up directly from the south. So as we move out just a little bit, we can see all of these storms kind of tracking just along the I-4 corridor and then continuing to make their way up towards Daytona Beach. So really what we're seeing right here, and I'm going to draw a little bit so you can see what I'm looking at, is we see like this little bit of a curve right here, right by Deltona going over to Ocala. We see also some of these storms from Spring Hill headed right towards Ocala as well. So with these storms, we're going to be watching these. Looks like a lot of lightning, some gusty wind. So just some things that we're going to be watching through the rest of the evening. But with this area right here, could lead to some gusty winds, especially from Deltona all the way over to Ocala, possibly looking at about 35-mile-per-hour winds. So something that we're just going to be watching through the rest of the evening. Most of these storms coming up pretty much directly from the south. So as we can see right here, these storms going to be making their track basically from Lakeland all the way up towards Deltona, Daytona area. Looking like just a lot of rain at the moment, but we can see some little spots of lightning over here from that Spring Hill going up to Ocala area. So as we take off my little doodles right here, and I'm going to actually put on screen. There we go. What we're looking at right here ultimately is just some showers. So with this, we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that sea breeze action start to collide a little bit later on this evening, taking a look at the Melbourne radar just to get a little bit of an extra view of what's happening, especially in the areas, especially in Orange County, as well as Osceola County, continuing to see a little bit of that. Most of these storms are just going to be in relation to the system that's lingering just off west. It's kind of just swinging up through the region. Some of those thunderstorms may pick up a little bit more due to the sea breezes, but other than that, we're pretty much going to be dealing with this through the rest of the overnight tonight. And I do want to take a look at our national radar as well, backing up, and then we'll take a look at some specifics. We have all these storms that we have going on down by Fort Myers and West Palm Beach. Those are and Lake Okeechobee. These are going to be kind of trailing up into the Orlando area and offshore as we head through the overnight tonight. But we do see a lot of rain lingering just offshore by Tampa as well, closing in just a little bit more. We can see some of this rain is going to sweep into areas across the region, but overall we're just going to be seeing a little bit more of this rain start to break up as it does sweep into the Gainesville area, which is a good thing though. Gainesville wasn't really getting too much rain the past couple of days as areas across Orlando, Deltona, Daytona Beach, Cocoa Beach area, we were getting hammered with some storms yesterday and the day before. So this is going to be very much needed rain for the Gainesville, Levy areas across Marion County. This is going to lead to a little bit of that much needed rain rolling in. So as we do take a look a little bit further back to kind of get a little bit of a national view of what's happening, we have a big low pressure system that's starting to form in the Gulf, and this is what's not only going to create some severe weather risk, especially for areas across the southeast, areas across Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, maybe seeing a little bit of a tornado risk, especially across Tallahassee. I believe there were tornado watches being issued a little bit earlier on. Yeah, just along the panhandle, we're starting to see some of these storms create a little bit of a punch right there. So we're going to be watching those very carefully through the rest of the evening. But luckily, these aren't going to be affecting us. We're going to be worried more about these thunderstorms that may pick up a little bit of strength as we head through the rest of the overnight tonight. And as we head through Monday, though, that's where we're going to be watching a lot of rain moving through, which again, very much needed because we have been so dry. So taking a look a little bit closer in, let's switch over to the Tampa radar so we can get a little bit of a better view of what's happening. This is from the Melbourne radar, looking like a good amount of lightning, especially across areas of Osceola County, moving in closer to the Kissimmee area, theme parks area. We're starting to see some of those showers, but areas especially more towards Lakeland, this is going to be tracking up towards the theme parks, so heads up if you are planning on heading to the theme parks for dinner or planning on just heading there for the evening, getting a little bit of those early Mother's Day celebrations in. It is definitely going to be on the rainy side in the theme parks later on this evening. Probably within the next 30 or so minutes, I'd say that's going to be moving in. So yeah, as we take a look right here, this storm moving in about 20 miles per hour up to the northeast. So with that, if I stop this loop real quick, some of these going to be slowly making their way towards Disney, probably within the next hour and a half, is what we're seeing right there. So as we do click this off, taking a look at the other storms that we're seeing at the moment, especially the one that's going to be moving into Marion County, just nicking the spot of Sumter County right here. We're going to be seeing this continuing to make their way towards the Marion Oaks, Ocala area. This is moving at 30 miles per hour, so this storm moving very quickly up towards the Ocala area, continuing to make its way up the I-75 corridor. Again, continuing to make its way towards this east-northeast at 29 miles per hour at the moment. So let's take these off real quick to really get a good time of arrival here. So this storm, again, moving towards the east-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So it should be making its way into the Ocala area at about 6 o'clock. So probably within the next hour and a half, 2 hours, Ocala, you're going to be seeing a good amount of rain. Right now, the villages are seeing some rain at the moment. Looks like a couple bolts of lightning, but nothing too serious. One of the main reasons why we look at lightning is that usually gives us a good indicator that that storm is increasing in strength, and that also is a good indicator on hail as well. So with these storms right now, not really looking at any crazy amounts of hail. Doesn't look like there's too many probabilities with that region wide right now, but again, still keeping track of just those little lightning tips with that as these storms continue to strengthen. That lightning can pick up very quickly, which again gives us a good relation to figure out if this storm is strengthening or it's weakening. We've seen the lightning counts kind of go up and down throughout the day. Again, that's really just due to the daytime heating over the land. There's lots of energy, it warms the air up, and it rises just naturally. So that's why we do see those thunderstorms pick up so quickly in intensity when those sea breezes collide throughout the middle of the day, like we see in a very August pattern, which is basically what we're in right now. We have had 3 days of just very muggy summertime like weather through the past couple of days, but with this right here, again, this is looking at the Melbourne radar, but what I'm going to do is switch to our airport radar to get a better view of what's happening over here. We'll switch back to the Tampa radar in a second as well. But again, it looks like we're just seeing some heavy rain making its way just to the west of the villages, and this is going to be heading up towards Ocala and central Marion County as we head into a little bit later on. Just seeing some pretty widespread rain, some sprinkles as we take a look from Sanford over to the villages, down towards Leesburg, focusing in more towards downtown area, seeing a little bit of that heavier downpour starting to make its way in. But this just looks like some heavy rain at the moment and some widespread rain. Making our way down towards the Kissimmee area, really just seeing some widespread, much needed rain across the region. Most of us are still seeing some pretty significant drought conditions, so all of this very much needed rain as we head through the rest of the evening. Lake Tahoe, we're in St. Cloud, starting to get a little bit of a thunderstorm right there, but again, that's also due to a little bit of the sea breeze collision. So as the system continues to make its way northward, we're going to be seeing the possibility of some of these storms intensifying as those sea breezes also kind of interact with this system that we're seeing move through. Okay, so backing up just a little bit, nothing too serious quite yet. Again, really just keeping an eye on this thunderstorm that's right here. May pick up a little bit of that hail with it, but right now not looking at anything crazy. It doesn't look like there's any rotation with that, so we're just going to be keeping a very close eye on all of this. Again, much needed widespread rain as we head through the rest of the overnight tonight. So I do want to back up just a little bit, taking a look at our national radar. What we can see right here, again, just gives us a big picture of what's going to be coming in as we head through the rest of the weekend. Of course, Mother's Day weekend, so happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, all the mother figures. Thank you so much for everything you do on a daily basis. Unfortunately, though, I know my mom would not be very happy with this forecast that we're going to be having tomorrow, but it's not a total washout. That's the good news right there. So again, backing up just a little bit, we're going to be seeing a couple rounds of rain as we head through the rest of the weekend. So this is wave 1. As we head through the day tomorrow, we're going to be seeing wave 2, which is associated with kind of this front that's laced across areas of the southeast. Some of that moisture is going to be rolling into our region, but also with a very summertime-like pattern that we're in, we're going to be seeing some sea breeze thunderstorms as well. So with that, let's take a look at the models of what we're expecting for the rest of the weekend. Of course, tomorrow, Mother's Day, if you haven't gotten a card, if you haven't gotten flowers, a little gift, make sure you do that before tomorrow. Definitely make mom or any mother figures happy. If you do have any plans early tomorrow morning, things are looking good. No need to cancel any plans for that. It's once we head into the back half of the day, yeah, you'll definitely need a little bit more of that umbrella or that extra raincoat if you do have any plans. Definitely not completely wash out those plans for the rest of the evening. However, if you do have any dinner plans outside, planning on going to the theme parks, doing anything special for mom, might want to make those plans inside for sure. We're going to see those storms pop up as we head through the middle and late afternoon, and then going to continue to see those storms pretty widespread as we head through the rest of the evening. So tomorrow we're calling for an impact day once again. Seeing those storms really start to impact especially the latter half of the commute, so just make sure you are going to be careful with that. If you are planning, again, any dinner plans later on in the evening, make sure you are being careful. We were driving out on Thursday and seeing those storms, and it was very tough to see, especially in the thick of those storms. So just make sure, again, you are being careful. Through the rest of the evening, we are going to be holding a level 1 out of 5 for severe weather, and we're also going to be holding that risk for tomorrow. So with that, really just going to be holding out the fact that we could see an isolated strong or severe thunderstorm, and also we could see the possibility of some large hail, very gusty winds through the day tomorrow as well. So with that, as we do take a look at our storm threats through the day tomorrow, and then we'll get into a little bit more of the timing, here's what we're looking at for storm threats. Wind is going to be number 1. Looks like this is a little off, but wind is definitely going to be number 1. With those storms picking up very quickly, could lead to some of those thunderstorms getting some pretty gusty winds out there, but also we could see the possibility of some small hail as those storms pick up very quickly. Also on the flip side, we could see the very low possibility of a brief tornado. It's not 0, so just make sure you are sticking with us as we watch the radar. As we see those storms and those sea breezes kind of collide, it could create just that little bit of rotation that leads to a funnel cloud, so that's something that just to make sure you are staying weather aware of. So ultimately, taking a look at the next hour, here's what we're looking at. We see a lot of that widespread rain, and as we do take a look again just through the rest of the evening, these storms going to continue to make their way towards the northeast, so areas across Gainesville, Palm Coast, Daytona Beach. You're not getting any rain right now, but probably within the next hour, hour and a half, yes, you will be seeing that rain. It looks like most of this is just going to be staying rain. We may see a little bit of a stronger thunderstorm start to kick in, so not counting out the possibility of hail through the rest of the evening, but it just looks like some much needed widespread rain with the possibility of a couple of thunderstorms thrown in there for the rest of the evening. So as we do take a look what's on tap for the rest of the weekend, we're going to be seeing a little bit of that wild ride as we see those moisture waves continue to roll through. So this is our Fox model. This is what we're going to be looking at as we head through the rest of the weekend, seeing all of that rain happening out there right now. We see that moisture just off the coast. And as we take a look through the rest of the weekend and into the start of next week, yeah, things are definitely going to pick up, especially on Monday is what we're watching. So as we close in, this is what we're seeing for the rest of the evening. Those showers and storms going to continue to make their way towards the northeast and continue to roll offshore. Some of this moisture that's just off the west coast could roll in, bringing in some more showers, but really that's what we're going to be seeing through the rest of the evening. So as we do take a look, we're going to be continuing to see some of those showers quiet down through the rest of the overnight tonight. And then as we take a look at Sunday, again, things are looking pretty good through the morning. So if you do have any plans with mom, thinking on taking her out to breakfast, any mother figures out to breakfast, things are looking good until about noontime. So this is where we're going to be seeing that cold front that's kind of lingering, sparking off some severe weather across the southeast today. This is what's also going to be bringing in our second round of moisture as we head through the day tomorrow. So this is about 2 p.m. We're going to start to see those sea breezes collide. Again, this is a very summertime-like pattern. This is why we're going to be seeing all of those storms spark up as we head into about the probably 3-4 o'clock hour, but especially around 6:30, that's where we're going to be seeing the most widespread amount of rain. So as we take a look, those showers continuing to move through as we head into about 8-9 o'clock, slowly starting to calm down as we head into a little bit later on. So then as we take a look at Monday, though, this is where we're going to be seeing this low pressure system really start to sweep in as we head through the latter half of the day. So with this, Monday morning commute, it's going to be rainy, it's going to be rough. Make sure you are being careful on that morning commute on Monday. And then as we head into the evening, we're going to start to see more of those sea breezes pop up, and that's going to intensify all of this rain that's going to be moving through. We're looking at widespread rain throughout basically the entire day. So if you do have any plans, make sure they are inside for sure. It is going to be a rainy day to start off the work week. Widespread rain all day long, and some of these storms may pack a punch, more so than what we're seeing for this weekend, continuing to roll through, but finally starting to quiet down on Tuesday. Basically Tuesday we're going to be seeing a couple of lingering showers, but Wednesday all through next week we're looking good. So finally starting to fall back into a springtime like pattern as we head through the latter half of next week. So if you do have any graduations happening, I'm headed to one next weekend. Things are going to be looking good pretty much all across the Florida Peninsula for that. So that's the good news right there. Hi, Lee from Johnson City. Miss it up there for sure. And hi, Gwen from Sanford. Thanks for writing in. Let's take a look at our YouTube comments as well, and we'll take one last look at our analysis right here just to make sure nothing's popping off too much with our current radar before we wrap it up. We will be on our digital website for our evening show right here starting at 5 o'clock, so make sure you tune in for that. We'll take a look at these storms once again. But really not really seeing anything too crazy out there. What I'm just going to pop up before we wrap this up is popping on our special weather statements. So this is ultimately just keying in on a couple of storms that are on the stronger side, but not at that severe strength yet. So we're watching this one down here that has that increased amount of lightning here in Lakeland. Also, again, watching that stream of some thunderstorms from Spring Hill all the way up to Ocala, seeing some gusty winds and a lot of lightning with that. Again, that's just a little bit of a key in of what we can expect for some of the storms that we're currently watching right now. But again, not really seeing anything too serious out there. Maybe seeing a little bit of hail with this, but that might just be where the radar is located. So let's just check that real quick. Okay, it does, yeah, looks like there might be a little bit of hail in areas across northeastern Sumter County. In areas starting to make their way up towards Bellevue and Denellen, probably seeing some very heavy rain, but seeing also the possibility of a little bit of hail in areas just on the Marion County and Sumter County border. So if you're in that area, just make sure you are staying aware. Again, not looking at anything too crazy right here, but I do want to just double check the Tampa radar as well. Yeah, it just looks like there's some very heavy winds. Doesn't look like there's any rotation with that. But again, you can see right here, possibly a little bit of hail with that storm. Getting just one more check of that. Yeah, it does look like there is a little bit of hail with this storm at the moment. So if you're in the Bellevue area up towards Ocala, back towards Denellen as well, and again, areas near Wildwood, the Villages, this is just to the west of you, but we're seeing a little bit of hail associated with this thunderstorm that's making its way up towards Ocala right now. Alrighty, so that's what we're seeing with the current radar. Again, just make sure you're sticking with us for the rest of the evening. It's our job to watch the radar, so we will absolutely do that. So just make sure, again, you are sticking with us through the rest of the evening as we head and track these storms through the rest of the overnight tonight. Things are going to slowly start to quiet down, but again, tomorrow is another day where we'll start to see more of those widespread storms as we head through the afternoon into the evening. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it, and we'll be back on the air at about 5 o'clock for our digital show, so make sure you tune into the Fox 35 app, or Fox Local app, as well as the Fox 35 website in order to see that. We'll further break down the radar and talk about your Mother's Day weekend. Thanks, everybody.